The Perseverance rover launched on July 20th, 2020, beginning a 7-month, 480 million kilometer trip to Mars.
6, 5, 4, engine ignition, 2, 1, 0. Relay and liftoff as the countdown to Mars continues.
Mars 2020 was the third Mars mission to launch this summer. The United Arab Emirates launched the Hope probe on July 19th from Japan using a Mitsubishi Heavy Industries H-2A rocket. The Hope probe will collect data about the Martian atmosphere, weather events like dust storms, along with daily and seasonal weather cycles. China launched the Tianwen-1 mission on July 23rd on a Long March 5 rocket. This mission is unique in that it is the first to combine an orbiter and a lander rover. These missions were timed to take advantage of the orbits of Earth and Mars, bringing the planets closer together, an event called opposition. This reduces the distance a spacecraft needs to travel to get to Mars, making the missions much more affordable due to lower fuel requirements. A fourth planned mission to Mars, the ESA's Rosalind Franklin, had been scheduled for launch this summer, but was delayed due to problems with parachute system testing. The ESA mission is now scheduled to launch in 2022, to take advantage of the next time Earth and Mars will be in opposition. The Mars 2020 mission includes Ingenuity, the first aircraft designed for flight on another planet. There are 5 planned flights of the Mars helicopter, which will take place over 30 days, starting about 2 months after the February 18th landing in Jezero crater. Of course, the star of the mission is Perseverance, the rover which will take detailed measurements of the Martian environment to provide information necessary for planning future human missions, and will also use a number of scientific instruments to select locations for collecting rock samples that will be cached for future return to Earth in the hopes of finding evidence that Mars was once home to microbial life forms. The Perseverance launch vehicle was an Atlas V541 rocket provided by United Launch Alliance, a partnership of Lockheed Martin and Boeing. The Atlas V541 consists of a common core booster powered by an RD-180 main engine which burns liquid oxygen and rocket propellant 1, for about 4 minutes, providing 4 meganewtons of thrust. 4 supplemental Aerojet solid rocket boosters burn hydroxyl-terminated polybutadiene for about 90 seconds. Each SRB provides an additional 1.27 meganewtons of thrust. Here, the launch footage shows the SRBs being jettisoned after burnout, which took place about 1 minute 50 seconds after launch. Just after 3 minutes into the flight, the RD-180 was providing a 2.5 g acceleration, in preparation to jettison the 5-meter payload fairing. Visual confirmation of the payload fairing jettison occurred just before the 3.5-minute point of the flight. The RD-180 then throttled up to a 4.6 g acceleration. At the 4-minute mark of the flight, the Centaur RL-10 was prepped and the booster stage separation took place 4.5 minutes after launch, which was followed by the first burn of the Centaur RL-10. This burn lasted about 6 minutes, and put the craft into a park orbit around Earth. The second burn of the RL-10 started 45 minutes after launch and was used to move the vehicle into a Hohmann Transfer Orbit. This maneuver provided the change in velocity, or delta V, to move the Mars 2020 spacecraft out of an Earth orbit into an orbit around the Sun, which will intersect with the orbit of Mars in the middle of February, with a landing scheduled for February 18th. Here, the Centaur stage is seen going into a stabilizing roll using the small engines that are part of the reaction control system to prepare for the spacecraft separation. The separation of the Mars 2020 spacecraft from the Centaur stage took place about 57.5 minutes after launch. The 7-month Cruz portion of the mission will see the craft travel nearly 300 million miles on its way to Mars. There are a number of planned trajectory correction maneuvers along the way. The first is scheduled to take place 15 days after launch. Flight engineers will determine the location of Mars 2020 and will use 8 Cruz stage thrusters to make any needed adjustments to the flight path. Additional TCMs are scheduled for 60 days after launch, 60 days before landing, with as many as 4 TCMs taking place between February 10th and February 18th when the mission lands on Mars at Jezero crater and begins its operations on the Red Planet. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please keep checking back to my channel for additional videos about Perseverance and the Mars 2020 mission.